We have some breaking news out of New York, folks, where Sean Diddy Combs was back in federal court today.
This was Combs' first appearance before the new judge assigned to his case, and he had his 3 new attorneys with him.
It's pretty interesting because I think, we have seen many photos, videos of Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, through the Associated Press, through Instagram. And so to see him kind of in person after being in jail for 3 weeks now was pretty interesting, to say the least. And I say that by being that you would expect him to feel a little defeated, a little gaunt, anything like that. But it wasn't that case. He appeared confident. He stood tall.
They were back in court on Thursday in front of yet another new judge, Arun Subramanian. He's going to be the judge presiding over Combs' trial as of now. And by the way, it is now scheduled for May 2025, which we're going to talk about.
What were some of the key takeaways from today?
Hey, Michael and Ashley. The main takeaways we got today was now we have a tentative trial date, May 5th, 2025. This was something that Sean Combs' defense was very adamant about. They did not want to waive his speedy trial rights, and so they are proceeding on a path towards May 5th, 2025 trial date. Also heard from the government saying that their investigation continues and that they may actually file a superseding indictment. And you know what that means, more potential charges.
To the victims who have stepped forward, were victimized after 2015. This has been going on for a very long time. Now, when you think about the fact that some of this conduct occurred 25 years ago, and you wonder why would it take somebody so long to step forward, I want to remind you that many states in the United States have recognized that it's very difficult for a victim to step forward.
Now, I got to call this out. There's no recording equipment allowed in New York's federal courthouses. There are no cameras. It is annoying. Trust me, I could talk all about this. But anyway, that's why we haven't seen video of Sean Combs in court or heard audio of him speaking to the judge. But we did have a correspondent in the courtroom.
Whoa, things just got real in the courtroom. Today, we're talking about the wild moment when a judge completely went off on Diddy for, get this, lying during a trial. Yep, you heard that right. The iconic music mogul found himself in some serious hot water, and this judge was not having it. What happened? Why did Diddy lie? And how did it all go down in court? Stick around, because this courtroom drama is just getting started. And trust me, you don't want to miss the details. But of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this.
You're going to hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. Whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment, things that broaden people's horizons, people get intimidated.
Even think of this, the minors at the time could potentially be adults now. So do they want to be involved in this investigation? Are they willing to speak out on their experiences? Because as an adult, now they can actually do that. But I think when you look at all of these freak-offs that occurred, there has to be a collection. And I read a lot of articles saying that he recorded these with multiple cell phones, with professional cameras. So I think the collections of the videos, when investigators dig through those, will tell the truth and reveal some of the proposed ages of these minors.
In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs.
Courtroom, the first thing that he looked at was his family. As soon as he saw his family, he just lit up. Another thing to note, too, is he wasn't shackled, but he was wearing a khaki prison-like jumpsuit when he appeared inside court, and his family appeared on their end very just happy to see him. Now, I will say, when I was inside the courtroom, I was a little bit towards the back right side of the gallery, and so for seeing Sean Combs, I had to look through a few heads and stuff like that, but again, he appeared just kind of confident walking inside that courtroom, and it might have just been the look that his family was there. So let me kind of paint a picture for you as
Sean Diddy Combs will stay in jail as he awaits his third attempt at bail in his exploitation case, which is expected to go to trial in May. This was confirmed on Friday, October 11th, when Circuit Judge William J. Nardini turned down Combs' request for immediate release, while a panel of 3 judges considered his bail appeal.
It's federal court. It's more formal. A lot of rules like no TV, no media in the courtroom. But having said that, who all was there? Who was watching? How did he react to his family? All of that.
Yes, I mean, this time, he had 2 rows of family there. And in this case, last time, at his bond hearings, his sons were present. This time, his daughters were present, as well as his mother. And there was just something a little more, he was excited, I guess, to see them.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to the charges, which include racketeering conspiracy and exploitation. He is accused of leading a years-long scheme involving the essay and exploitation of women, allegedly assisted by associates and employees, while using threats, blackmail, and to keep his victims silent.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
Now, they say they found those recordings of the freak-offs during the raids on his homes in Miami and here in LA.
Which opens up a whole Pandora's box.
Whether or not Diddy has things he can offer the government, people in this trade. And of course, he contends he's not guilty and he hasn't committed any crimes. But do you see that? Do you see there being people higher up in the food chain than Diddy that he could tell the government about or give information about?
There's always the possibility that Diddy is going to flip on others. The question is, who could that be? It would really have to be someone very high up, and I'm talking.
3 weeks ago, at a bail hearing, a judge rejected the defense's offer of a $50 million bail. This would have placed Combs under house arrest at his Florida home, with GPS monitoring and visitor restrictions. Judge Andrew L. Carter Jr., who has since stepped down from the case, ruled that Combs posed a threat to the community. He stated that no conditions could ensure Combs wouldn't interfere with the investigation or endanger witnesses.
There aren't a whole lot of people in the music business or in the movie business that are more famous and well-known than Diddy, but if he did identify many other people or all the other people who participated, that certainly would have some value for Diddy. Obviously, he's going to be their main target, but if there's other people that were participants, they too should be prosecuted.
In their appeal, Combs' lawyers argued that the judge had endorsed the government's exaggerated rhetoric and ordered Combs detained for purely speculative reasons. Indeed, hardly a risk of flight, he is a 54-year-old father of 7, a U.S. citizen, an extraordinary successful artist, businessman, and philanthropist, and one of the most recognizable people on earth, the lawyers wrote. Combs' legal team has yet to request bail from the new judge overseeing the case, Arun Subramanian. During a hearing on Thursday where Combs appeared in a beige jail jumpsuit next to his attorneys, Subramanian indicated that he might be willing to discuss the matter.
Real experience. It's always humbling. It's always interesting to see these stars in court. They humble themselves. It's a way we're not used to seeing them. And so, especially not used to seeing, Sean Diddy Combs getting excited over seeing his family while he is dressed in a 2-piece jail-issued outfit.
The judge set a trial date for May 5th and briefly asked Combs' lawyers about his conditions at the MDC, a facility notorious for and mismanagement. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, who had earlier attempted to have his client transferred to a New Jersey jail, spoke to the judge about his concerns. "We're making a go of the MDC. The MDC has been very responsive for us." Another Combs lawyer, Anthony Rico, told reporters outside the courthouse afterward, "He's doing fine. It's a difficult circumstance. He's making the best of the situation." But Rico said nobody's okay with staying in jail for now. On October 10th, Sean Diddy Combs appeared in court for the first time since his arrest, where the judge set his trial date for May 5th. Combs will face federal charges that include racketeering, exploitation, and transporting individuals for the rough trade. During the hearing, the judge confirmed that the trial will start in May, while a panel of 3 judges considers Combs' latest bail request. Until they make a decision, he will remain in jail.
I remember seeing a quote from Sean Diddy Combs that he said he never wore the same clothes twice.
Oh, and now every day,
now he's got to wear that little beige outfit.
From his $48 million Miami mansion to hell on earth where chaos reigns. Just some of the words used to describe the Metropolitan Detention Center where Sean Diddy Combs is now being held without bail after pleading not guilty to and racketeering charges.
Is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being. They have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
Combs' mother, Janice Small Combs, shared a statement through the family's lawyer, expressing that she is devastated and profoundly saddened by the accusations against her son. She believes the allegations are motivated by people looking for financial gain and compared Combs to others who have been wrongfully convicted due to their past mistakes. However, she also acknowledged that her son has made mistakes and might not have been entirely truthful when denying SA claims made by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Combs' legal team has submitted paperwork requesting that he be allowed to await trial outside the MDC, where he is currently held. They argue that the initial decision to deny him bail was influenced by the high-profile nature of the case. The original judge, who has since stepped down, had ruled that Combs should stay in jail to prevent him from using his wealth and influence to interfere with the government's investigation. The day before his court appearance, Combs' lawyers requested that his exploitation trial be scheduled for April or May 2025. Prosecutors didn't share their preferred trial date at the time. In addition, Combs' legal team filed a memo accusing the Department of Homeland Security of leaking a surveillance video showing him allegedly maltreating his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Prosecutors have denied the claim, stating they didn't obtain the video until CNN made it public.
I was up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Alongside Diddy's criminal case, he's also facing 12 civil lawsuits for various allegations, including physical maltreatment and SA. Here's a growing list of notable people involved in the lawsuits and criminal investigations against Combs so far. Aaron Hall. The R&B singer is named in Liza Gardner's lawsuit alleging that he and Combs SA'd her and an unnamed friend in 1990.
Diddy and Aaron Hall back in 1991 took turns raping her. What you think about that?
Well, I think because the New York state law has made, just like there's no statute of limitation, a lot of people going to be coming out the woodwork charging these guys who did things like she said that they did way back when. Now, Cassie has already proved that Puff is capable of doing what this girl said.
Harve Pierre. In December 2023, a woman filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs, Harve Pierre, the former president of Bad Boy Entertainment, and another man of exploitation and SAing her as a group when she was 17 years old. According to the lawsuit, the victim, who was in high school at the time, met Pierre at a lounge in Michigan in 2003. She claims that Pierre SA'd her by forcing her to perform fellatio. Afterward, Pierre allegedly contacted Combs, who convinced the underage girl to fly with him on a private jet to New Jersey.
How do you feel about him getting accused
of? Like I said, anything that has to do with those people have to prove that. But are they capable? Yeah, they're capable. Look at the atmosphere. They in the music industry. They in the music business. They set up those type of they learn the tricks of the trade.
The lawsuit states that once they arrived, the victim, Pierre, and two other men were taken to Combs' recording studio in New York, where they gave her narcotics and alcohol. According to the victim, Combs, Pierre, and another man then SA'd her as a gang. She also says she has little memory of how she returned to Michigan the next day. The suit lists Daddy's House Recordings and Bad Boy Entertainment as co-defendants. Pierre has denied the accusations in a statement to TMZ.
They see the bottles when they open them, and they trying to keep their eyes on because they don't want to get no kind of put in their system. But what they don't understand is in the orange juice and it's in the cranberry juice. They done put the pills and the stuff in there, the roofies.
Christina Korum. Korum, named as Combs' chief of staff, is also listed as a co-defendant in the lawsuit filed by Jones. In the lawsuit, Jones claims that Korum often arranged for illegal substances and adult workers for Combs and his guests, and that he made Jones carry narcotics for Combs and hire adult workers on his behalf. Jones also accuses Korum of helping Combs with the SA and being involved in grooming him.
When Rodney Little Rod Jones filed that lawsuit against Sean Combs and many others, Christina Korum was one of the people named as a defendant in the suit. And I want to be crystal clear, Sean Combs has vehemently denied these allegations. His attorney, Sean Hawley, has been quoted as saying they've tried to present evidence to Little Rod's attorney to disprove the claims, but they've been rebuffed. So that would make anything Lil Rod claimed about Christina Korum untrue as well in Combs' eyes.
In addition, though, she isn't listed as a co-defendant. Korum is mentioned in a separate SA lawsuit filed by an unnamed woman in September 2024. This woman alleges that Korum frequently paid her for travel and arranged for her to perform for Combs. The lawsuit claims that Combs' staff would even send drivers to her home to pick her up, making her feel like she had no choice but to comply. Cuba Gooding Jr.
In a scenario where dozens of women were accusing you of pleading guilty to forcible touching and settling lawsuits.
People feel that I'm accessible to them, so I come in contact with all kinds of people, from people who adore you, or people who are offended by you, people who feel you're aggressive. And you have to learn that as you walk on this path, you must stay neutral. When people interpret what's going on with you or what you're being exposed to, you have to make sure that you know your intention, and you have to be accountable for your own actions. And I have been.
The actor who pled guilty in 2022 to forcibly touching a woman and settled a civil SA case in 2023 was mentioned in an update to Rodney Lil Rod Jones' original lawsuit against Combs. Jones claims that Gooding Jr. fondled and groped him while they were on Combs' yacht. Gooding Jr. has denied the allegations, calling them ridiculous, and saying that it's part of the reality of being a celebrity.
Well, how do you fully escape it, though? Like, your name, for example, was mentioned in the Diddy case.
Which was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Because you barely know
This is the
right?
most ridiculous thing ever. But again, welcome to being a celebrity. Welcome to my world.
Cuba's faith is what has seen him through.
Diddy with Little Rod, with, all the stories that everybody's hearing about.
You mean in terms of what?
I mean, being raiding his house being raided.
I mean, that's crazy. That's the craziest thing I'd ever. And then, hey, how about me? I wake up in the morning, I turn on the stage show, and Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. I was like, excuse me, pull me into this. I think whatever he's dealing with, he's on his journey, man. She at one point ran P. Diddy's publicity, right when he started doing the white party thing.
Mm-hmm.
He had just gotten freed from indictment, found not guilty.
Justin Dior Combs and Christian Combs. Sean Combs' son, Justin Dior Combs, is mentioned in Jones' lawsuit against the rapper. The lawsuit claims that Jones saw both Combs and his son soliciting adult workers and allowing underage girls into a listening party, where the drinks of the women were tampered with. Additionally, the lawsuit states that Jones witnessed Christian Combs, another one of Combs' sons, intoxicating and essaying a woman.
Diddy's 26-year-old son Christian, who was handcuffed and questioned during the LA raid, also posted for the first time. He says, quote, "Stop with the caps," which is slang for lie.
Tyrone Blackburn, the lawyer representing Jones, is also involved in a different lawsuit filed in April against Christian Combs. This lawsuit is on behalf of a woman named Grace Omar Kai, who claims that Christian essayed her on a yacht owned by Combs, who is listed as a co-defendant. Both Justin Dior Combs and Christian Combs have denied the accusations against them. Devontae Swing. In an updated complaint filed on October 8th, Liza Gardner included Devontae Swing from the R&B group Jodeci as a co-defendant in her lawsuit. Gardner claims that Swing, who was an adult at the time, acted as her assumed co-guardian when he invited her to New Jersey while she was still underage. The lawsuit alleges that Swing trafficked and coerced her to travel from North Carolina to New York and New Jersey with a hidden intent of providing her with alcohol and marijuana and ultimately exploiting her to Combs, who worked in A&R. Additionally, Gardner's friend Monica Case submitted a sworn statement saying that Swing was in the room, watching whatever Puffy was doing to Liza. Some other names involved in the lawsuits. Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi and Ventura were in a relationship back in 2011. In her lawsuit, Ventura claims that when Combs discovered emails between her and Kid Cudi on her phone, he became furious and attacked her. Although she tried to escape, she went back because of the pressure from Combs' staff. The lawsuit states that Combs then hit and kicked her. According to the lawsuit, in 2012, Combs expressed a desire to blow up Kid Cudi's car while the rapper was at home. Kid Cudi later confirmed to the New York Times that his car did explode in his driveway around that time.
That he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and he wanted to make sure that Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. And around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in the driveway.
Yeah,
Do you know about
that.
this car blowing up?
I heard about that. I definitely heard about that. And I found it quite funny that the car actually did get blow up.
Karisha Brownley, aka Young Miami. Young Miami, one half of the rap duo City Girls, had a relationship with Combs in recent years. In August, she stated that she didn't know anything about the accusations against him. During an episode of her Revolt TV show, Karisha Please, she explained that she couldn't discuss the allegations because she wasn't present during those times and that she didn't know the person described in the Amber. Brownley was mentioned in a lawsuit filed against Combs by an unnamed woman. The lawsuit claims that from 2021 to 2024, the woman was forced to travel and perform for Combs multiple times, with much of the travel funded by Combs' staff member, Christina Korum. The suit also alleges that in 2022, the woman was compelled to take substances and have intercourse with Combs. When she found out she was pregnant and told Combs, the lawsuit claims that Brownley, who is not a co-defendant in the case, repeatedly harassed the woman, pressuring her to have an abortion. The stress is said to have caused her to suffer a miscarriage.
How the saying go? If they like it, then I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is Diddy and Young Miami on New Year's Eve on a yacht, baby. Let's look at these pictures. Love this green dress. It's giving a lot of money. Drone view.
Diddy's history with alleged V stretches back to the 1990s, after facing numerous lawsuits in recent months that accused him of SA and other offenses. Combs was formally charged on September 17th with exploitation by force, racketeering conspiracy, fraud or coercion, and transporting someone for the rough trade. His attorney, Mark Agnafilo, described the case as an unjust prosecution and maintained that Combs is an innocent man with nothing to hide. These recent charges are just the latest in a long line of controversies for the music mogul. Although he has tried to rebrand himself as Brother Love, his history of V allegations is extensive. Here are just a few of Combs' SA controversies over the years. Gina Hun alleges maltreatment, 2019. In 2019, Combs' ex, Gina Hun, shared her experience of physical maltreatment during their 5-year relationship with blogger Tasha K. She described a painful incident where he stomped on her stomach, leaving her breathless, and said he also punched her in the back of the head.
Obviously, you terminated baby one because you loved him. How long after you guys started dating is when did the physical start?
The first time it ever happened, which was not even like that long into the relationship, during that time he was like giving me drinks, like alcohol, like giving me drinks to drink, and I was just like, I'm not comfortable. He was like, you're gonna get an abortion anyways.
Gina explained to Tasha K that Combs was dangerous in many ways, mentally, emotionally, and physically. She mentioned how he often compared her to Cassie, saying that Cassie was the good one while she was the bad one. Gina also pointed out that everyone around Combs seemed to turn a blind eye to the mistreatment she faced.
That girl Gina came out and said, come on, man, we going through this shit again. Gina said I was pregnant. He didn't want me to have a baby. He was kicking me and hitting me. I lost my child. Nobody came up and said nothing.
Jane Doe sues for 1991 SA and Revenge P. 5 days after Combs settled with Cassie's November lawsuit, a former Syracuse University student filed a lawsuit accusing him of D'ing, SAing, and recording her in 1991. The suit claims that after a dinner in Harlem, Combs took her to a studio where he allegedly SA'd her while she was too impaired to stand or walk. Days later, a friend told her he had seen a tape along with other men. A representative for Combs denied the claims, calling them a money grab. Combs sued for SA by Love album producer. On February 27th, producer Rodney "Lil Rod" Jones sued Combs for $30 million, alleging SA during the production of the Love album. He also claimed $50,000 was owed to him for his work on the Grammy-nominated album. In his 70-page lawsuit filed in the Southern District of New York, Jones alleges that while living with Combs in several states, he was repeatedly groped without consent and pressured into a relationship through explicit videos. He claimed Combs often walked around the house naked and forced him to watch him shower. When Jones reported Combs' behavior to the Chief of Staff Korum, he was reportedly told to accept it as part of the industry.
Hello everyone. Until further notice, I will not be performing at any gigs or anything like that. For security reasons, my family, friends, and everyone close to me just feels like there's a lot of potential threats, and everybody's just telling me what he's allegedly capable of, and it's very scary for myself, and it has me worried about my kids, and just sleeping with anxiety and different things like that. So just moving forward, just gonna pause on everything until we know that it's clear and safe for me to come back outside of work. I appreciate you all for your love and support, and everybody that knows me, etc. Thank you so much. Love.
The lawsuit also implicates Combs' son, Justin, accusing him of bringing underage girls to parties where Combs allegedly intoxicated guests and recorded intimate acts without consent. Jones claimed that he was intoxicated at one of these parties and later woke up confused and naked in bed with two adult workers and Combs. He also alleged that Combs frequently brandished guns to intimidate him and made verbal threats. Combs sued by sixth person, an aspiring model for SA. On May 21st, Crystal McKinney filed a lawsuit alleging that Combs lured her to his studio under the pretense of advancing her modeling career, and then SA'd her in the restroom. McKinney, who was 22 at the time, claimed she met Combs during a dinner at Soprani downtown, arranged by a male designer who wanted to impress him. She stated that once seated, Combs made a public display of flirting with her throughout the dinner, leaning across the table and plying her with alcohol by repeatedly refilling her glass. The SA left her feeling physically ill, and she later passed out. Due to the trauma of the events, she kept her unwashed clothing from that night wrapped in plastic in her closet. The lawsuit alleges that Combs forced her to perform fellatio on him despite her refusal. Combs accused of intoxicating, SAing college student in seventh lawsuit. In a new lawsuit filed on May 23rd, April Lampros alleged that Combs SA'd her 4 times between 1995 and the early 2000s. Lampros included a photo of herself with Combs at his Florida home and a handwritten Valentine's Day card signed Puffy as evidence. She recalled meeting him at a New York bar in 1995, where despite not drinking, she felt pressured to do so due to his dangerous outbursts. Lampros alleged that Combs SA'd her, causing her to lose consciousness during the attack. The lawsuit also claims Combs SA'd Lampros again in a parking garage near his Manhattan apartment, forcing her to perform fellatio. When she tried to distance herself, Combs attempted to win her back with gifts and promises, but later became threatening. In 2023, Lampros alleged that an unidentified man approached her boyfriend, claiming to have seen an intimate video of her and Combs from 1997, suggesting Combs had recorded their encounter without her knowledge and shared it with others. Combs accused of binding and SAing a woman, selling SA film as P. On September 24th, Theia Graves became the 11th person to sue Combs, alleging that he intoxicated, bound, and SA'd her at his recording studio in 2001. She also claimed that Combs' bodyguard, Joseph Sherman, SA'd her during the incident in the lounge area of Daddy's house. Graves' lawsuit asserts that the men filmed the attack and shared the footage with some of Combs' friends, including her then boyfriend, who was an executive at Bad Boy.
Some of the hardest parts of this pain, the shame and the guilt I have experienced that plays a negative part in my day-to-day ability to function properly. Being blamed, questioned, and threatened has often made me feel worthless, isolated, and sometimes responsible for what happened to me.
In November 2023, Graves discovered from her ex-boyfriend that Combs and Sherman regularly recorded women during intimate encounters and sold the tapes as P. This has all been a sickening journey, to say the least. But what's your take on all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for today. We hope you absorbed a lot from that video, and if you did, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.